Financial technology, better known as fintech, is used to describe new technology that seeks to improve and automate the delivery and use of financial services. At its core, fintech is utilized to help companies, business owners, and consumers better manage their financial operations, processes, and lives. Fintech is a portmanteau of financial technology, refers to firms using new technology to compete with traditional financial methods in the delivery of financial services. Artificial intelligence, blockchain, cloud computing, and big data are regarded as the ABCD 4 areas of fintech. The use of smartphones for mobile banking, investing, borrowing services, and cryptocurrencies are examples of technologies designed to make financial services more accessible to the general public. Fintech companies consist of both startups and established financial institutions and technology companies trying to replace or enhance the usage of financial services provided by existing financial companies. Now on the Eagle today, we are looking at fraud in emerging fintech and digital payment platforms. I am your host, Aisha Muhammad. Thank you for staying tuned. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) has called on youth across the country to own the fight against corruption by becoming fully involved through focused mobilization and participation in all anti-graft initiatives of the EFCC. This call was made in Abuja when core members belonging to the EFCC NYSC Community Development Group visited the headquarters of the Commission in Jabi, Abuja on a courtesy visit. Here are details of their visit.
The visit, which was to further solidify the existing relationship between the Commission and the CDS Group in preaching the anti-corruption message, was enriched with robust discussions, exchange of ideas, and frank assessment of the synergy between the EFCC and core members. Speaking on behalf of the Acting Executive Chairman of the Commission, Abdul Karim Chuko, Director Public Affairs Department of the EFCC, CEO Sitanwaja, thanked the group for their faith in the Commission and zeal to push anti-corruption messages to their respective audiences. Waja stressed that youths are a powerful force to reckon with in the anti-graft war. He explained that the focus of the Commission is to always harness the skills and potentials inherent in the larger majority of youths, significantly made up of members of the NYSC, to push and reach for the Nigeria of their dreams. On his part, President of the CDS Group, Samuel Godwin, expressed appreciation for the privilege to be involved in the fight against corruption. He also highlighted some areas of interest where the help of the Commission would be needed for a smooth execution of their mandate. Earlier, the CDS coordinator, Fatima Eshebo, expressed gratitude for the warm reception accorded them and promised that the CDS Group would do all within its powers to back the EFCC up in its mandate. Highlight of the visit was the presentation of information, education and enlightenment materials (IEC) for the empowerment of members of the CDS Group.
In furtherance of the digitalization policy of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC), the Special Control Unit Against Money Laundering (SCOMO) has concluded an in-house training of its officers and the deployment of a uniquely developed software analytical tool called SCOMO 360-degree. The development is part of the conscious efforts to improve the efficiency of SCOMO's processes as recommended by the International Cooperation and Review Group (ICRG) of the Financial Action Task Force (FATF). Here are details of the training.
According to Chief Executive of Intellisys Consulting and Solutions, Dr. Mahir Abu Ghali, SCOMO's 360 has the ability to process 20 million transactions per day on a single server, which will greatly enhance the efficiency of SCOMO. He noted that the software also comes with an artificial intelligence AI feature which will help to analyze the data received by SCOMOL. One of the many benefits of the new tool is that it has a messaging module where SCOMOL can communicate directly with designated non-financial businesses and professions (DNFBPs) via the messaging board. With this, DNFBPs will have their questions answered without having to call or come to SCOMOL's offices. Also, DNFBPs will be able to print their certificate by themselves from the comfort of their offices once they receive it in their email. The new certificate will come with a QR code as a security feature and will have a digital signature on it. At the closing ceremony of the 2-week in-house training at the SCOMOL office in Wuse 2, Abuja, Director SCOMOL Daniel Isai appreciated the work which Intellisys Consulting and Solutions had done. Isai expressed confidence that with this new software, SCOMOL is better positioned to fulfill its mandate while meeting the demand of its customers in a timely and efficient manner.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) has charged real estate operators in Lagos to ensure due diligence on their customers as a way of checking the menace of money laundering and terrorist financing in the country. The Lagos Zonal Commander of the EFCC, Michael Wedkas, gave the charge in his address to participants at a sensitization workshop on anti-money laundering, combating the financing of terrorism, and countering proliferation financing (AML CFT CPF), organized by the Special Control Unit Against Money Laundering (SCOMO) at the Lagos Zonal Command of the EFCC. Here are details.
The Lagos Zonal Commander, Michael Wedkas, said registration with SCOMOL has become necessary as a way of monitoring and reducing the risk of subversive use of the real estate operators by money launderers and terrorism financiers. Wedkas urged the designated non-financial businesses and professions DNFBPs to conduct due diligence and adhere to the principle of Know Your Customers (KYC) before consummating any transaction.
So I thank you very much for coming to accept or understand exactly what the essence of this program and for willing to partner with us to make the environment better and safer for all of us.
Also, in his remarks, the coordinator, SCOMOL Lagos Pascal Samu, said the workshop was designed to enlighten the real estate operators on their roles in complying with Money Laundering Act 2022. He assured the participants that the EFCC will continue to engage the stakeholders through sustained enlightenment activities on the need for DNFBPs to key into the activities of SCOMOL. In her presentation on anti-money laundering policy, controls and procedures, ACE Korede Abdul Aziz enlightened the participants on how to identify and report suspicious transactions, warning that failure to report such activities or transactions would attract sanctions or penalties. She urged the operators to build the capacity of their staff and appoint compliance officers in line with provisions of the Money Laundering Act 2022. The Vice President, Real Estate Developers of Nigeria, Reden Akintoye Adeoye, applauded the SCOMOL for its continuous efforts in sensitizing the public on the menace of money laundering. He also expressed readiness to spread the message to other developers. Abbas Abubakar Umar reporting for the Eagle.
Hello, Oga Agent, mo ti rí ilé náà. Ó wù mí gan. Báwo lẹ ṣe ní kí n wá sanwó báyìí? Kí n gbé owó wá sí ilé iṣẹ́ yín? Ó ti o. Ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi, ẹ la ojú yín dáadáa, kẹ́ ẹ dẹ̀ tẹ́tí yín sílẹ̀, kẹ́ ẹ gbọ́. Ilé iṣẹ́ Special Control Unit Against Money Laundering tó ń pè ní SCOMOL tó wà lábẹ́ EFCC, wọ́n ti ṣe ìfilọ̀ pé owó tó bá kọjá mílíọ̀nù 5 ẹnìkan ò gbọ́dọ̀ máa dágbé rìn, tàbí owó tó bá kọjá mílíọ̀nù 10 iléeṣẹ́ kọ̀ọ̀kan ò gbọ́dọ̀ máa gbé rìn torí pé ó lùdì sófin. Ẹni tó bá ṣe eléyìí á san ọ̀tàlérúgba ó dín ẹgbẹ̀rún mẹ́wàá náírà lójoojúmọ́ fún ìgbà tí ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ yìí bá ṣẹlẹ̀. Wọ́n tiẹ̀ lè fagilé ìwé tó fi ń ṣiṣẹ́ tàbí kí wọ́n ti iléeṣẹ́ ẹ̀ pa pátápátá. Ẹ má sọ pé wọn ò sọ fún yín o, ẹ má sọ pé ẹ gbọ́ o, ẹ má gbé owó tó pọ̀ jù rin o.
Civil society organizations play multiple roles in governance. They act as source of information for both citizens and government. They monitor government policies and actions and hold government accountable. They engage in advocacy and offer alternative policies for government, the private sector, and other institutions. Civil society organizations play important roles in strengthening democracy and serve as a mechanism for public participation in governance. Because of these roles, the EFCC find it necessary to collaborate with the civil society organizations in its fight against economic and financial crimes. These collaborations are on across the country, and Golden Onwura here reports on our engagement with the CSOs in Enugu. Over to you, Golden.
At an interactive meeting with members of the CSOs in Enugu, DCE Nwanyima Okano, speaking for the EFCC's chair, called for a closer and sustainable collaboration between the Commission and members of CSOs in the Southeast Zone. She pointed out that the issue of prevention is extremely important and can only be achieved through collaborative efforts between the CSOs and the Commission. The most important aspect of the collaboration is when the CSOs take ownership of the anti-corruption fight. In his remarks, the Enugu Zonal Commander, ACE-1 Ali Nuhu Naibi, noted that it was in recognition of the rising rate of crime, especially cybercrime among the youths, which has resulted in large number of them being convicted, that necessitated the Commission to emphasize on preventive measures and enlisting of the youths into the Zero Tolerance clubs. Head Creative Communications Unit of the EFCC, ACE-1 Chris Oluka, urged the CSOs to ensure unity amongst them and help actively engage the youths in order to win the war against corruption. Responding, Country Director, Baywood Foundation, Barrister Ojelo Chukwudi, thanked the EFCC for organizing the event and called for mutual respect and accountability between the Commission and its stakeholders. The interactive meeting with the CSOs took place at the EFCC's command in Enugu as part of the Commission's effort to bridge the gap with its publics and for citizens to own the anti-corruption fight. The Enugu Zonal Command of the EFCC inaugurated a Zero Tolerance Club (ZTC) at the University of Nigeria Enugu campus. The inauguration, which came on the heels of the Integrity Club launch at Day Secondary School Independence Layout Enugu, was one in the series of anti-corruption clubs being established by the Commission in recent times. Speaking at the event, the acting executive chairman of the EFCC, Abdulkarim Chuko, represented by Deputy Director in the Public Affairs Department, DCE Nwanyima Okano, charged the students to stay away from cybercrime and other forms of corruption and be ambassadors of the Commission. She stated that students needed to have deeper insights into the devastation corruption has on Nigeria. According to her, corruption is responsible for the stagnation, degradation, retardation, distortion, and dislocation of growth and development in our nation, and the students must make conscious efforts in not being among those who are part of the problem. She stressed that there is no justification in saying Yahoo practice is creativity to beat unemployment, because dishonesty, wickedness, and scheming involved in Yahoo engagement are heinous crimes. Appraising the public awareness drive of the EFCC, Deputy Vice Chancellor, University of Nigeria, Enugu campus, Professor Daniel Nwachukwu, noted that the EFCC's recent moves in launching zero-tolerance clubs in several universities was a welcome development. He also commended the EFCC for involving primary and secondary schools in the fight against corruption. He decried the level of corruption in the country, saying that if the old ones are extremely difficult to change, attention should be channeled towards getting the young ones involved in the anti-graft war. The head Creative Communications of the Public Affairs Department, ACE-1 Chris Oluka, administered the oath of office to the executive members of the club, including the Deputy Vice Chancellor, who is the patron of the club. Present at the event were lecturers, students from different departments, and members of civil societies. Golden Onwura reporting for the Eagle.
Financial technology has been used to automate investment, insurance trading, banking services, and risk management. But according to Wikipedia, global investment in financial technology increased more than 12,000% from $930 million in 2008 to $121.6 billion in 2020. The nascent financial technology industry has seen rapid growth over the last few years, and that's why our interview segment is focusing on fraud in emerging fintech and digital payment platform. Ojo Chokutami Eche is standing by with our guests to take us through. Over to you, Ojo Chokutami.
Thank you so much for joining us on this segment of the program. We're going to discuss this topic today with Chief Superintendent of the EFCC, CSE, Prince Effiong Basi of the Special Duties Sections Operations Department, EFCC. CSC Basi, thank you so much for joining us on the interview segment.
Thank you.
Okay, we're talking emerging frauds in fintech and digital payment platforms. We'd like to know exactly how this system works in Nigeria. I'm talking about the fintech or digital payment platforms. How does it, apply to the Nigerian system?
What you mean by fintech is basically the use of technology to solve problems of finances. So it's simply a short abbreviation of the word financial and technology brought together. What it means is using the internet, using devices to to get solutions to financial issues. Now, when you talk about fintech, the fintech space now, it is broken into several subsectors. Those subsectors are: one, you have the digital payment and banking platforms. That is one aspect of the fintech industry. There is also the insurance sector, where you use digital solutions or technology to solve insurance issues. There is also the investment, savings, and crowdfunding platforms. What it simply means is that on these platforms, you can save, you can in turn invest, get better interest, and also get better returns than even normal savings you do from your traditional banking and other and other institutions. Then there is the cryptocurrency space, which is also part of fintech. The recent rise in the use of cryptocurrency all around the world has made it acceptable now that most companies are moving towards accepting crypto. So you have industries within this space that also deal with cryptocurrency. Then lastly, there is also a subsector in the fintech industry that deals with the provision of enterprise solution and services. For instance, you want to build a solution for payments now. You will have a company. There are companies that can create the app for you, that can host your server, that can give you access to the application APIs, as they call it, application program interface, to do all of that. So these whole companies, this whole ecosystem, these whole subsectors form what is known as the fintech, financial technology.
So let's talk about the frauds that characterize these payment platforms in recent times.
Okay, when you talk about frauds in fintech, now you know that fintech has to do with technology. And now there are certain issues that even led to the use of fintech in the first place. For instance, you have the high internet and smartphone penetration in Nigeria recently. So more people now use smartphones. More people have access to internet. More people have access to data. Then you also have the convenience of the fintech, of you sitting down, doing transfers and all of that from your phone, lending money from your phone and all that issues now. Then what brought it to prominence, even fintech, is the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, with all of this, you also have people that are online, fraudsters that are online and monitoring to misuse whatever this is being made to use for. So that is it. So there are different frauds, just as you use it to solve practical daily solutions. There are people out there that are there studying and trying to use it to outsmart people for financial and economic gains. So the practical examples now are, one, you have sometimes there is what is called social engineering, because the essence of fintech is that it works on data and internet connectivity. That is it. The essence of any fintech is that it works on your access to data and internet connectivity. Now, what happens is that based on experience, we have come to discover that fraud in this space deals mainly with the compromise of sensitive information, compromise of sensitive data. So now when it comes to compromise now, there is known as social engineering. Social engineering simply means where, for instance, I may send a mail to staff of this organization purporting to emanate from the HR, requesting for sensitive information of yours, maybe your account number, your account name, your passwords and all of that. And you thinking that it is an authentic mail, without confirming, will send your details, which I will use. And thereafter, I will use that information, sell it, and use it to take over your accounts.
How often does the EFCC get complaints about frauds happening in the fintech and digital payment platforms?
You get the complaints almost every time. Almost every time, especially in the cyber crimes and forensic sections. You get these complaints every time, where you see that someone will complain that his account was compromised, money was stolen from his wallet, money was taken from his account, he doesn't know. And you know, the funny thing with all of this is that most of the times, the first point of complaint is supposed to be the company, that is the host of the wallet in which money was stolen from. When you make your complaint to those people, you will find out that maybe from their own investigation, they would see that these things were authorized by you. Because access to those accounts, access to those wallets, access to those facilities is usually based on, one, your device authentication. Two, you would have password authentication. Three, you may sometimes have maybe fingerprint or even facial authentication. So you see that if these things are compromised and someone have access to anything that belongs to you, the company you will not be able to convince the company that you did not grant access to those people. So
what exactly does the EFCC do in curbing these frauds? What role does the EFCC play?
Yes, for now, apart from the investigative aspect, the investigative aspect is, how would I put it, the reactionary aspect. You understand? But the proactive now is that we always have to sensitize. We always have to sensitize members of the public that, look, 80% of fraud in this fintech and digital payment ecosystem, in this space, is because of compromise of data, compromise of your sensitive information. So at any point in time, you always have to be cyber conscious. You always have to be cyber security conscious.
Before I let you go, what are your final words, especially to the fraudsters and to fellow Nigerians? I want you to talk as an officer of the EFCC.
What I would have to say is that people should be cyber security conscious. Do not give out sensitive information relating to your data, relating to your devices, relating to your financials, and until it is expedient and you are sure that you are giving it to the correct this thing. Do not do that. And
to the fraudsters themselves, or people that are likely to use the platforms for their dubious activities? Well, there is no hiding place for you. EFCC will definitely trace you. EFCC will arrest you and charge you to court. It's over to Aisha for the rest of the program.
As we round off today, I leave you with this. Let us win over the corrupted violence. Let us break our silence. Corruption is not an individual's problem. It is a national problem. Silence breeds corruption. No action only leads to deprivation. Do not be silent. Let's all be patriotic citizens and join the anti-corruption crusade. See something, say something, and let the EFCC do something about it. And this is how we end this episode of The Eagle. We'll come your way again next week with another interesting edition. Let's keep the conversation going by sending a mail to info@efcc.gov.ng or call us on 0809 332644. Use the EFCC mobile app, The Eagle Eye, to report any fraud you see happening around you. You download the app, you follow the steps and report fraud on the go. And you also take pictures of corrupt practices and upload them. Also remember to join us every Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. on our web-based town hall meeting called EFCC Connect, where we answer your questions and note your observations of the anti-corruption fight in order to serve you better. Stand for integrity and do the right thing always. My name is Aisha Mohammed, and in all of this, please do stay safe, be kind to yourself and to others around you. Goodbye and God bless Nigeria.